Hi, in this tutorial I will take you through the brute force attack on DVWA, Damn Vulnerable Web Application, what we have started a few tutorials ago. This particular application could be vulnerable against brute force attack and many other web applications. What you will find today will be vulnerable against simple attacks, simple brute force attack. In this tutorial, I will take you through the Burp Suit briefly, and I will be using Burp Suit to crack username password to do a brute force attack on DVWA. Everything will take place in this local PC. Before we do that, let me quickly introduce you the Burp Suite. What is it? How does it works? If you go to your Kali Linux, click on Application, Web Applications, first one, you will see it as Burp Suite. Mine Burp Suite is quite outdated now. I haven't updated it yet, but if you want, you can just go to this website and update it, clicking on OK. I'm not creating a full project. I'm just using a temporary project, clicking on Next, and I will be using all default feature, and you can click on Start Burp Suite. So it will take a while. Once this Burp Suite start, this will be able to intercept whatever happening from your browser. Every data you are sending outside from your browser, this Burp Suite can detect those information. But to be able to do that, you need to open your browser and you need to set a proxy server. So I'm using Firefox, and to set up the proxy server, I will go to Preference, I will go to Advanced, click on Networks, click on Settings. Now here you will see manually proxy configuration. I have given my loopback address 127.0.0.1, which is this local PC. The port I gave is 8080. Again, I'm saying that go to this particular PC, which is local PC, go to that port before sending any data, and all the data will go out from this point. By default, probably you will have a settings like no proxy or use system proxy settings, but to Burp Suite, to work with Burp Suite, you need to select manual proxy from here. So when you are done, click on OK, and we will hope that you have selected the proxy properly. Let's test it. So what I will try to do now, I'm going to the website where my DVWA has been hosted. So I typed 192.168.0.11 DVWA login.php, and as soon as I hit in this, let me show you what happens to the Burp Suite. So proxy, you remember we did set up this local host as our proxy server, and it started intercepting all the traffic went from this computer to the server or wherever the destination was. It has started intercepting. I don't need that, so I will just turn it off. I will turn the interception off for this particular task, because that will make the process bit faster. So our DVWA is open now. I'm logging in here with my normal username password. So username was admin, password was whatever the default password is. First of all, what I will do, I will set up the security level. I will just check security level is low right now, and then I will click on brute force attack, where I can run this Burp Suite to find out the username password. Just assume that I don't know the username password, so I'm saying username is I don't know, and password is maybe password. I just wrote something. Obviously I know this is not the username, I know this is not the password, but still I wanted to try it because I just want to grab the parameters. When I click on login, this website send number of information to the server. I want to grab all of those information in right format so that I can ask Burp Suit to try to find out the right username password in different combination. So clicking on login, and straight away I can see username and or password incorrect, what was expected anyways. But I will request you to remember this error message. It's saying incorrect, a very specific pattern what will come here. So let's minimize this and let's see what our Burp Suit has got. Now I have opened Burp Suit and I will click on HTTP history. When I click on HTTP history, you will see my very last request here, where I try to send some information to somewhere. If you look at this place, you will see username. I wrote I don't know, that was the username I wrote, and password I'm saying maybe password. That's the information what I have written. Now actually I needed this whole page. I just wanted to find out how this website is sending the data to the web server. Now I got that information. So what I can do now, right click here and send to Intruder. Intruder is the function or feature which will allow us to run this brute force attack. So first of all, I need to have all of this information sent to Intruder. When you send it, nothing happens, no message comes here. After sending it, you need to go to Intruder, this tab. Now you will see some information already is there. This is the host IP address where our site was, which is fine. Port 80, because this is HTTP. By default, HTTP is using port 80. It is not HTTPS, therefore I don't need to click on this. Now I will click on positions. This is the place where you give some parameters. So here my first parameter, where I wrote I don't know, I will just give a name like name. This will be considered as a variable. So username, just pick up the name, whatever the variable I will give a bit later on. Password, I will have to set up another variable here. So I will say password variable name is pass. For this particular task, I will be just looking for username password. Therefore, I will clear all the other variables I have, what I don't need. You can do two things. You can just simply remove each of these signs, or if you select it and click on clear variables, that will do. So this is something what I am not looking for. This is something what I am not looking for. So I selected this, clicked here, clear variable. So everything is clear here. All I'm doing, asking Burp Suit to work on only two variables. I named those variables as name and password. Now I need to move on to the payload section. Payload sections will sorry, I missed one more. I need to decide what type of attack I want to run. Now all of these attacks will do quite similar job, really, not same, different ways it will do things. I will be using cluster bomb attack to do the brute force attack here. So after selecting this, I'm moving on to payloads. Now I'm expecting to see two payloads. Why? Because if I go back to the positions, you see this was my first variable and this is my second variable. So when you go to payloads, your Burp Suit will be able to look for both of those variables until a perfect match can be found. So my first variable was, if I go back, my first variable was I need to give a username. you have a couple of options. You can simply give a list of number of users. For example, I can say, okay, try admin, which is a common username. Then maybe you can say try root, and you type add. You can say try my name. Or perhaps you can have a long list of many usernames, possible usernames. This is the place where you need to know, you need to have some idea about potential users. I will not be giving number of usernames because that will take quite long to get me the result. For this task, as I know the username, I will just remove those unnecessary one, and I'm saying just try this particular username. Moving on, payload set number 1, which was finding the username, is there now. I will click on number 2. Now, if I go back to positions, number 2 payload was supposed to be for the variable which is password variable. Now, this is the place where you have a couple of choices. Password variable, you can have a simple list like that. So you can say, okay, test this password, admin 12345, then click add. You can give a long list of possible password. But that's really not a good idea of doing things, because you cannot write 50,000 passwords here, possible passwords here. What could be a sensible solution is payload type. You can say runtime file. When you select that, you just need to select a particular password file which has all of these possible passwords in plain text when you are trying to do a dictionary attack. So if I select this, click on OK, let me show you how that file looks like. This is a simple text file which has not many, just few simple passwords here and there, not a big thing. So I have selected this file here, and I'm saying this is my payload 2. Use this whole file and try to find out a match for particular username, whatever I gave. Now, before I start the attack, I want you to quickly have a look at options. This is not mandatory for you to fill up the options, but some of these could be really useful. So you could say how many times you want to retry if because of any network failure, if you don't get a result, your Burp Suit doesn't get a result, how many times you want to retry before giving up. What time you want to start? Do you want to start this attack right now, or maybe at midnight? You just give the time and leave it. Automatically it will start whenever you want to. You can pause it and then start it later on. So all sort of useful options you will have in here. But I wanted to take you through this option, which is grep match. Now, what will happen when you go through with that long password list? Every time it will try to have a match. Whenever it will not be having a match, it will give you a message, incorrect or correct, whatever. You want to have some sort of identification just to make sure that you can easily find out the perfect match. What I will do, I will clear this up, and it will say, do you want to remove all of this list? Yes, I do. I will type one word, incorrect. If you remember this, when we try to log in with wrong username password, the error message we had that had this incorrect word. So I'm just adding it here. I'm asking Burp Suit, whenever you find it incorrect, just tick it. So all of those results will be having incorrect ticked. Only one of those will not have any tick, which will allow me to find out which one was the right username password. So we did set up everything. Now let's start the attack. The version I'm using, this is a free version. It has some number of limitations, in fact, with time and so many other things. It's okay for us, and even you can work on this limited version up to certain extent. But when you are working professionally, probably it will be more beneficial if you can go for the paid version of Burp Suit. So once I clicked on OK, it started going through with all of those. It is checking payload 1, and this was my only username. So if I had a long list of username, Burp Suit would try this username against all the password it has. Then after finishing this, Burp Suit would pick up the second username, would go through with that password list again. Third username would go through with the password list again. So this is a crazy work for human to complete, but for Burp Suit it's pretty simple. When you see this end, it is incorrect. Wherever it is incorrect, it will give us a tick. So admin username password 0000 was incorrect, like that way. We see all tick 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 tick, and then at some point, here you go, we see this entry no tick, which will tell us that this is the right entry. Username is the admin username and password is the password. What we know, this is the right information. If you use admin username, if you use the password as password, all small letter, it will allow you to log in. So Burp Suit is pretty simple tool. You are using just a simple method to do a brute force attack. We actually did not do a proper brute force. We did a dictionary attack, but the password was simple, so there wasn't any necessity of doing any brute force attack. I hope you got the idea here, using Burp Suit to crack any web application if it's vulnerable to the brute force attack. Thank you.